Welcome to the Mekko graphics training video. Today we're going to show you how to create a Marimekko chart. A Marimekko chart is a series of 100% stacked bar charts where each bar has a variable width. And it has a variety of use cases, most often used as a market map. You can see in this chart that China is the largest energy consumer and that the US is number 2. Let's create this chart. From the Mekko graphics ribbon, click on Marimekko, which will automatically insert a Marimekko chart. And it will automatically open up the Mekko graphics data editor, which you'll see is populated with dummy data. But we're going to replace it with our own. We're going to pop over to Excel, and from our prepared range, I'm going to just copy this range, and then flip back over to PowerPoint to paste our data into the Mekko graphics data editor. Now you can see that series are represented as rows and bars are represented as columns. And also, not every cell is populated or needs to be populated. Only the cells that are relevant for that region have data. So then we'll close the data editor here. And our chart is there, but it's kind of busy. There's lots of small series and it's hard to read. So we're going to click on bars and series, and we're going to create what's called an other series. And all that is a way for you to group insignificant series or very small series into a group that is called other, which will allow us to be able to read our chart better. So from the series tab, options sub-tab, we're going to click the plus sign, where it's going to prompt us to name our other series. We can call it anything. I'm just going to call it other. Click OK. And now this is going to allow me to group all my smaller series into a bigger series called other. I can use the checkboxes to select them manually, or I can just update by saying mark any series less than a value of 150 as being in that group called other, and you can see it update, and I'll close it. Let's do a little more formatting to this chart. Let's click on the chart button here in the ribbon, which opens up this window on the right. And from the Sort tab, let's sort our data. For our series, let's sort it as biggest series displaying on the bottom. And for our bars, let's sort it so that the widest bar is on the left. Much better. And while we're here, you see the margins on the chart. We can just pick up any of those margins with handles and move them with our mouse. So I'm just clicking and dragging to extend my margins here so that I have a little more real estate attributed to my chart. Now for my labels, I'm going to go to the Show Labels drop-down and show everything, name, value, and percentage for this chart. And finally, I want to add an axis title. So I'm just going to right-click on the axis, which allows me to quickly enter an axis title here, which is million ton oil equivalent. So now it's time to create our data row, percent of total, which will make it easier for the audience to focus on the key message of this slide. So I'll click on Data to open up our data editor, and I'll scroll down to the bottom of our data, and I'm just going to create a row here, title it percent of total, and then I'm going to enter in my formula, which is basically the sum of the bar values divided by the grand total, and the grand total is the sum of all the values in the spreadsheet. So I'm entering in sum of my bars, which is B2 to B74, divided by the sum of all the values in the chart, which is the range of B2 to H74. And this is the same formula as it would be if I had done it in Excel. Now I'm going to just click this and drag to the right with my mouse to propagate that formula across the entire row. Once I've done that, I can start to format this data row, and I can do this through bars and series window in Mekko Graphics, but I just want to show you that I can also do it through the data editor. I'm just going to right-click and format it as a %. So I'm just going to click the % checkbox. And then, once I do that, I want to tell Mekko Graphics that I want this to be not shown on the chart, so I'm unchecking that, but to pull it down to show on the bottom as a data row. And I'll go ahead and close that data editor. Now I'll just do some final housekeeping. I'm going to right-click in the chart area and just choose Select All Labels. You can see I have lots of formatting options here, but I'll right-click and I'll just reduce that font size down, just nudge it down to 11, and then I'll change my font itself, and I'll choose, let's say, Century Gothic. Also, you'll see that I have these margins that have handles that can be moved. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to just nudge my left margin over to the left a little bit, just to give me a little bit more area for the chart itself, and then I'll do the same on the right-hand side. And when I feel good about this chart, I'm going to click off, which inserts that chart right into PowerPoint. Thanks for watching this training video. For more information on Mekko Graphics, visit our website at mekkographics.com. Thanks for watching.